Welcome, you curious learners. Ever wanted to, quickly get the heart of a really impactful book without reading hundreds of pages? Today we're doing a deep dive into Paramahansa Yogananda's autobiography of a yogi. It's often called a spiritual cornerstone, a book that's really touched millions. Our mission, to pull out the most important nuggets, the practical stuff, the big ideas, and its pretty profound global influence. So kicking us off, what immediately jumps out of you about this book, this read that people find so transformative?
Well, what's truly fascinating, I think, is how Yogananda mixes this deep spiritual wisdom with just incredibly compelling storytelling. It's really so much more than just a memoir. It's like a window into a life totally devoted to seeking truth.
Yeah.
And it's packed with these anecdotes, these stories of him meeting all sorts of remarkable saints and sages. But here's where it gets really interesting. It's full of these mystical experiences that, honestly, they genuinely challenge our ordinary understanding of reality. Makes you really question what's possible.
Yeah, that mix of the profound and the extraordinary is definitely captivating, isn't it? So as Yogananda is on this journey through India, seeking enlightenment, what were some of the key spiritual ideas or practices he highlights, the things central to his path and what he eventually taught?
Okay, so his time with his guru, Sri Giri, that's absolutely foundational. Sri isn't just represented as a teacher. He kind of embodies the principles Yogananda later shares. And a core teaching that really comes out of this, and really the whole book, is Kriya Yoga. Yogananda presents Kriya Yoga, importantly, not just as physical exercise, but as a scientific method of meditation, one that significantly speeds up spiritual growth. It's about consciously directing life force, energy to higher centers in the body. And this leads to deep states of inner peace, communion. It's really his main tool for aligning body, mind, and soul.
Ah, okay, that's a really crucial distinction. So it's not just about like yoga poses, and you mentioned those mystical experiences earlier, the ones that challenge our reality. Can you give us a specific example from the book that really shows this? Because that's something the book is, well, famous for.
Oh, absolutely. There are quite a few. One really striking one is Yogananda's encounter with the perfume saint, Kandabhava. So this yogi apparently had this astonishing ability to just materialize fragrances out of thin air, seemingly just by thinking about them, invoking them. Yogananda writes about asking for different scents, rose, jasmine, you name it, and just watching them instantly appear. I mean, it's an account that completely defies conventional physics, right? It really invites you to consider dimensions of reality beyond just the material world we see. And another memorable one is the levitating yogi, Bhaskaranand. Yogananda describes him just effortlessly rising into the air. It showcases this idea of mastery over the body, over the elements. And the point isn't that they're like magic tricks. They're presented as powerful testaments to the potential of human consciousness when it's fully developed.
It definitely sounds like it pushes boundaries, yeah. Pushes what we think is real. So beyond these incredible personal stories and the Kriya Yoga practice, what kind of broader, maybe more universal life lessons does Yogananda offer? Things that still hit home today? And thinking bigger picture, how has the book actually impacted the world since it came out?
Well, at its core, the book really emphasizes self-mastery, the power you have to control your present situation through self-awareness, and also the huge importance of practicing compassion and kindness in just, everyday life.
Okay.
Yogananda also believed deeply in the unity of all religions. He really sought to bridge Eastern and Western spiritual thinking.
Yeah.
And its impact, huge. His work profoundly influenced the counterculture movement back in the 60s, and it continues to inspire millions globally, everyone from figures like Steve Jobs to countless spiritual seekers. He really championed this idea that spiritual truth isn't something you just read about. It's a direct personal experience, something accessible to anyone through consistent effort.
It's undeniable the book has had this immense lasting impact, which, okay, brings up an important point. While it's so widely praised, there are some skeptics, right? People who question the, let's say, literal accuracy of the more mystical stories, and others maybe suggest some parts might romanticize Indian spirituality a bit. How have those criticisms really affected its standing?
Right, those critiques exist, definitely. But honestly, they haven't really diminished the book's reputation as a spiritual classic. Its enduring appeal seems to lie not just in the incredible stories, but in its power to inspire readers, to get them to explore their own spiritual depths and maybe question their own assumptions about reality. So its overall impact, it's been overwhelmingly seen as transformative, enlightening, really ever since it was published way back in 1946. Even if you approach some of the mystical bits as, say, metaphors, the practical lessons and just the sheer breadth of spiritual wisdom in there remain incredibly potent.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? Well, Autobiography of a Yogi is basically an invitation to explore a spiritual path, maybe discover inner truths you didn't even know were there. As you think about this deep dive, here's something provocative to mull over. How might genuinely challenging your own ordinary understanding of reality, even just a tiny bit, lead you to a deeper, maybe more profound sense of connection and purpose in your everyday life?